There is so much talk on a regular basis about who the best wrestler to never win a world title is. But I feel like not too much love goes to tag teams of pro wrestling. So my question for the both of you is, who is the best tag team to never win a tag team championship is? Now, just for the sake of, let's give a time frame, let's just say last 30 years. Flobo, you want to go?
Sure as I hell do I want to go. Here's the deal. We talk about the tag team divisions, right? And that was the problem I was wrapping my head around, because between the two different brand splits and tag team turmoil, matches playa, holla holla, there's just so many people that touch gold, that touch silver or bronze or whatever material's made out of these days. And I had to dig hard and I thought about it. I'm talking about a team that has a uniform look, has a team with a complementary moveset, a team that was representation, back when representation was still being thought of, even though the gimmick itself wasn't that great. I gotta give the Crime Time. Crime Time, JTG, the late Shaq Gaspar together were the greatest team. They tagged with Cena, the greatest team to never have the WWE Tag Team Championships.
What do you think was holding them back? Like, what do you think went wrong as far as them being tag team champion? Do you think it's just politics? Do you think there was something more of what was going on?
Oh, that's definitely a good question. You see, the idea was they were presented as an SNL kind of sketch that's funny and stereotypical. The theme song was catchy as all heck, but actually the gimmick to me was definitely built for comedy and not really a thing you will take seriously. But the thing is, after a while, they got pretty good together. Their chemistry was awesome, but I think it was way too deep into what the Crime Time gimmick was about guys popping rollies and drinking 40s and stealing your stuff, rather than being a good tag team of two different sized men able to complement each other in the ring.
What do you think about it? What do you think is the best tag team in the last 30 years to never win a tag team championship?
I mean, Crime Time's definitely a good choice. There's no doubt about that. They were over with the crowd, like you said, really catchy music. They had their team with Cena. But if you think of great teams, you got to think of who's in the Hall of Fame. And there happens to be a tag team in the WWE Hall of Fame that never somehow won the tag team championship, and that would be Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers. Now they're goofy. They were pretty much Santino Marella before Santino Marella was a thing, but you know what? Santino won multiple championships, and these guys didn't. They were loved by everyone over a time span where they would be feuding, whether it was the Hart Foundation, Demolition, Powers of Pain, Power and Glory, all these great tag teams in the late and early 90s range, and they never ended up having the tag titles, but no matter what the match was, they were still loved and adored by everyone. And I love the fact that it was always Butch pretty much did the entire match, and then Luke had the hot tag, and then got hit with one move and would lose. That was how their matches were. But they were loved, especially like I remember back in SummerSlam '91, where they had Andre accompany them to the ring to take on the Natural Disasters, where you can kind of figure how that match would end. But again, they never won titles, but they were so good that you had Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame ceremony doing their little walk. So they certainly have to be the best team to have never won the tag titles.
Now, a lot of people look at somebody like a Roddy Piper, and the first argument for Piper is, well, he didn't need the title. Do you think that's the case for the Bushwhackers, that they didn't need the titles because they're already over to a point where they don't need any kind of belts around their waist?
I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, would the title have cemented them? Yes. But did it hurt their career? No. So with that, because either way, they're Hall of Famers. With all due respect to Crime Time, I don't know if they'd be considered Hall of Famers. If they had a tag title reign, maybe. But then, then they needed the title reign to be considered great, where the Bushwhackers did not. Side note, I want to give an honorable mention to another team that were around for less than a year over this time frame. And I think they only really got one shot, but the two individuals were just so good at that time where they went together, they seemed unstoppable. How about some love for the Allied Powers? Yes. Lex Luger and the British Bulldog as a unit was just scary.
Stacking the deck.
It was scary. It was scary. They're not the best, but that's an honorable mention.
No, because George loves those guys. He keeps talking about those guys like left and right, man.
I mean, I know I'm kind of in the role that I'm in, so I don't really get too much to talk about this kind of stuff, but I just got to intermix. Where Allied Powers, to me, the thing that I loved the most about them was their entrance music. There was something about that mashup, and we see a lot of that too these days, where you have two entrance themes kind of mash up together, and it's like, oh, that's kind of lame. But for whatever reason, the Allied Powers, just to me, like, I'm pumped. I love the fact that they opened up WrestleMania 11, like against the Blues Brothers. But yeah, I'm all for. I think Allied Powers, especially at that time in '95, was the biggest miss. I'm going to say maybe not the best tag team, but the biggest missed opportunity during that time for them not to give the titles, especially when they're feeding up against that foreign legion of Owen Hart and Yokozuna.
and you want to talk about people who are super over? Yeah, they fell out on really bad terms with everybody, but Enzo and Cass were loved. They were the most over guys.
But they weren't a good tag team. They weren't a good tag team. They
weren't. I'm not saying they were a great tag team, but I'm just saying as far as a team that you just thought because they were so over, they could have got it. So they could also be an honorable mention.
Especially because, I mean, we're not here to criticize what the big boss man does. Not Ray Traylor, but Vince McMahon, where you have teams like a Matt Hardy and MVP, former tag team champions. John Cena and The Miz, former tag team champions. John Cena and, I want to say, David Otunga, former tag team champions. But yet we never saw the Bushwhackers with the title reign. We never saw Crime Time, Allied Powers, Enzo and Cass with the title reign. So, again, we're not here to discuss the state of tag team wrestling, but yeah, you do got to give props to some of these teams, even if they won't go down in the legacy of some of the greatest tag teams of all time.
True. I think you make a good, valid point. But the thing is, though, I think eras are way different. I mean, the Bushwhackers were great. I loved them as a kid until they were on the episode of Family Matters. They broke my heart. Which I mean,
wait, you said until what? You weren't a big fan? Is it because they were heels? Was it because they were heels?
Maybe they were. Maybe they were. You know?
Trivia question: do you remember the team that they faced off in the episode?
They were like crazy people, right?
Well, I said it during the pre-production meeting.
I'm trying to draw it out, man. I'm trying to draw it out. Jeez, Cycle Twins, right?
There you go.
It's called kayfabe, bro. Damn. But the Crime Time's credit, though, it was a whole different era. We're talking about the extended days in the road, the two brands. I mean, being able to compete at a higher level than what was going on back at the time. Not saying they're objectively better, but it's not so much of a landslide if you think about the actual production in ring and what they had to do. And Timberlands.
Can I make a rebuttal with that, Flobo?
Sure.
Because I feel like in that different era, they should have had a better chance. Because correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that at that time the brands were split already at that point?
Yes.
So they were two different tag team titles,
right?
Two different divisions. Therefore, they had half the competition, and the tag division in that time was not nearly as strong as it was back in the Bushwhackers' time. And the fact that they couldn't get a single title reign over that, obviously, I'm not blaming them for it. But
dang JTG.
Yeah, it's JTG's fault now. But along with that, for whatever reason, I agree that they should have had a reign. But the fact that they didn't, when there was less competition,
right,
in that type of division, to me also then emphasizes the Bushwhackers even higher than Crime Time.
They have the same. Sorry, you're saying.
Okay, just to add on what you were saying is that during that time they faced at SummerSlam Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, but then that was during the big New Day's title reign.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like, it's kind of the same issue that Enzo and Cass had. I mean, they were so entertaining as far as it being like a side attraction. They were always presented as such. And that's why I didn't think they were actually treated seriously in the feud. I'm not saying they're quite a comedy act, but definitely seen as a sideshow thing, which is to discredit the booker or what have you. But I still think they should be in that conversation because they're very overlooked. We're talking about tag teams in general, and these didn't even win the championships at any point in their career. I do think they should be on that list. Good sir.
Well, I just want to take this moment because I never get an opportunity to correct George, but I get to right now because George said that Crime Time took on the team of Jericho and Kevin Owens.
No. I meant Enzo and Cass did. Enzo and Cass faced off because you were saying how Enzo and Cass didn't have the competition.
Oh, now No, I was talking about Crime Time didn't have the competition.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Enzo and Cass.
No, he was saying that. Yeah, he was saying that Crime Time had the competition.
Because okay.
Yeah, I said Enzo and Cass, and that they were kind of like not a comedy thing, but like a sideshow thing.
Okay, I mean they had some championship matches. They had feuds against Miz and Morrison. They had feuds against Cade and Murdoch. That was kind of a little infamous because apparently they got fired after an incident that happened at a house show against Cade and Murdoch. So it kind of make you think a little bit where if they never got released from their contracts, maybe a tag team title run would have happened in that time frame between them getting released and them coming back. Who knows? Obviously, we'll never know. Yeah. Obviously, valid arguments. But before we leave, I want you guys to put yourselves over.
Josh, put yourself over, man. You deserve it.
Oh, thanks, Flobo and George. That's so sweet. Because you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Tariff, and of course YouTube.com/JoshTariff. I'm getting more and more content up there, including Josh Talks every Tuesday. New one-on-one interview with a different wrestler somewhere around the world. Go watch it. Go like it. Go subscribe to it. And, go do whatever Flobo's about to tell you.
Make sure you follow me, man, at Flobo Boyce on social media. Flobo.com is the website and the YouTube page, Flobo Boyce. We got What's Up Flobo After Hours. My brother's going to be on tomorrow's episode. My actual flesh and blood. That's going to be a lot of fun, so check it out.
Not like you're like a brother, but an actual brother.
It's both!
Hey, it's Christy Olsen. If you like this video as much as I did, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so they can join in the wrestling chatter too. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow the show on Twitter at TW Chatter. See you next time.